is WGEM Sports.
It was a big day for Hannibal's Quinn Thomas, who was playing in his last official high school round for Pirate Golf. As the Misha State Golf Meet wrapped up today, Hannibal's Quinn Thomas came into the day leading with a 1 under par, and he did not disappoint. After trailing going into the final hole, he birdied hole number 18 right here to bring home the state title. It's his second time winning the Class 4 individual championship after winning it back as a freshman. In other Missouri golf results, Palmyra places third as a team in Class 2. Jonas Janes taking 6th individually, and Skeeter Kreger capturing 10th. Trevor Biggerstaff placed third as an individual for Canton Tigers as after his round this morning. Talk about a good year for local golf in Missouri.